Wheel Tough, and today I'm going to talk about the GoPro Max as a option for capturing your one-wheel adventures. So just want to start off by saying I don't have experience with other 360 cameras. I think the main competitor is the Insta360. And I also don't have much experience with action cameras, so I'm not like a GoPro wizard or anything like that. So this is just my experience with going with the Max and kind of what I like and don't like about it while I capture my rides. So I'm going to go over 3 pros and 3 cons, and I'm just going to go ahead and start with the pros. So pro number 1 we have is the stabilization on this camera is crazy good. Again, I don't have experience with other action cameras, so maybe this is just like a thing with these kind of small cameras. I'm used to kind of like what this video is being taken on. I'm used to more photocentric with camera video recording abilities jammed into it. I guess DSLRs, or in my case mirrorless camera from the Nikon Z5, and yeah, they have built-in stabilization, but it's nowhere near the level that this thing has. I'll go ahead and put up some video just showing you what this can correct for. So I was just pleasantly surprised at how it works, how well it works, and it makes one less thing to worry about while you're riding. You know, you just make sure you're pointing in the right direction, and that's about it. Okay, number 2, was that 2? Number 2, 360 video is pretty cool, and it allows for some dynamic shots even when you don't have a friend to help out. So again, I'll put some footage up. If you're trying to get some panning shots of you riding or going around a corner, it's definitely possible without a friend. You will need a mount of some sort, or you know, maybe this stick, which is actually going to be my number 3 that I'm going to go over. But anyways, you know, it's just really cool. You can get some different effects going on with the 360 camera. I know that the like small little planet, I think, is kind of like maybe a little bit overused, but it's kind of a cool effect that you can do. Certainly one of the things that I played with at first when I got this, but that aside, it actually just opens up other options, like I said, for panning, or afterwards you realize something really cool happened and you just, you know, you can actually change the camera around to grab it. The view, I guess. Okay, so that was number 2. Let's move on to number 3, which overall I will say there's just tons of accessories available because it is a GoPro and it has this mount. I'm gonna just, because I only have really this accessory, I'll just go over this selfie stick. It is the only GoPro accessory I believe that is specifically made for the Max. Very convenient because it has this built-in tripod like that, and although it's not super long, it does extend. Also, because the camera is centered on it, when you'll see in that footage that I put up earlier, when you extend it and hold it out, the software deletes the stick, so it becomes an invisible selfie stick. So again, kind of lending to point number 2, where you can get some incredible shots. And okay, so let's go over some of the cons. This first one is not specific to GoPro Max. Just in general, 360 movie files are big, and they are a pain to edit. They're not that bad. I'm probably just kind of lazy, but the idea when I first was looking at a 360 camera is, hey, it's pretty cool. I just hit the record button, and you know, afterwards when I get home, I don't have to think about anything. Just get home and then go ahead and dump the footage into my computer and point the camera where I want. Well, that turned out to be kind of not so fun to do. Maybe it's because of the software, but pointing the camera constantly and reframing and putting like key points, I don't know, I just find it tedious, and I just really don't like to do it. So it does add an extra step in your workflow. If you notice, I have this lens cap on the back here. That's because lately, and except for when I want to get the 360 effect, lately I actually just record in what's called hero mode, and what that does is it just uses one lens like a normal GoPro. So wherever I've learned that pointing the camera isn't too difficult to do, and with the stabilization, it makes for a much better process because I don't have to like transfer a 360 file to the GoPro app, flatten it out, edit the key points, flatten it out to like a normal picture or normal video, and then get it into my video editor. I just record it and then dump the file directly into my video editor, and I'm good to go. So I've been recording like this more often lately, and yeah, I actually kind of don't use it because of the 360 movie files being such a pain to edit. So I'll go ahead and move on to point number 2, which if they could implement this feature in like a firmware update, maybe that would get rid of my complaint number 1, but that is that there is no subject tracking in this 360 camera. I know that the Insta360 has it, but I do not know how well it works. So if it works really well, then I could see why maybe people would prefer that camera over this one, because I spent the first con as saying it's a pain to edit the key points and everything. So if it had subject tracking that was decent, I think I would use 360 more. If it allowed it could follow the subject, and then you could move away from it whenever you want and kind of point the camera and then go back to the subject. I think that would really speed up the workflow quite a bit, and really help out in actually using the 360 features more than what I'm currently using. So finally, I'm going to go ahead and go over my number 3 con, which it's not too big of a con, but it is there, and maybe it's just also an inherent thing with 360 cameras because you're taking footage of everything. And that number 3 is there is no jack for an external mic. I will say that the mics, for it being an internal mic, it is very good. It is surprisingly good, but just as you would expect with an internal mic, if there is some wind or something like that, it's very easy to pick that noise up. And in fact, I did a test. I'll go ahead and pop that on. So take a break from this here and just watch this. Okay, so this is the internal mic. It is actually way windier than normal for where I live right now, but yeah, I'm guessing you're getting a lot of wind noise, so I'm actually speaking quite a bit louder than I normally do. Hopefully you can hear me at least a little bit. If not, I guess we'll find out in the footage. Okay, so as you can see, it actually did okay. I mean, you could hear me, and so if you just want to at least be able to be heard, it does that. But it by no means was clear, and then the wind was quite ridiculous, like I guess annoying for me. So there is no external mic jack. However, I will say that again, this is kind of just a 360 camera thing, because I don't think the Insta360 allows for that. There's no way to plug anything in. And I will say that there are alternative options, or I guess workarounds for this. And I haven't, maybe you can tell by the audio that I, what's it called? It's the mic. The audio that you're hearing right now from this recording session is just the internal mic of my Nikon Z5. So not great, but better than nothing. But they have this thing. Sorry, oh, it's sold out. It's interesting. I've been looking at the Instamic Pro Plus, which is a maybe I'll go ahead and put a thumbnail on screen. But it's a wearable mic that kind of records on its own, and then you can later, when you're in your video editor, match up your footage with what you've recorded. It's waterproof, and it's really quite perfect for having, I guess, capturing audio, good quality audio with your GoPro Max. I'm trying to click around and find the price of it, but it's just listed as sold out. I think I remember it being about $200, and that's why I was kind of thinking about it for a while. Anyhow, kind of getting way off track here. So no external mics. There are workarounds, but if you already have a mic, you just won't be able to use it. So yeah, that's 3 pros, 3 cons that I've found in using this camera. Overall though, very happy with it. Okay, so that is my quick overview. I do have one question for anybody who's watching this that has a GoPro Max, and specifically also edits on an iPad. So I do edit on my computer, but mostly I have an all iPad workflow. The one thing that I guess I could list this as a bonus con is I don't like that you can't take the data directly from the SD card, put it in some SD card reader, pop it into the iPad, and then just start import your footage into the app, the 360 footage that is, and start setting your key points and then export it from there. For whatever reason, the app will I cannot get it to see that file. The only way I can do that is if I wirelessly transfer 360 footage from the camera over to the iPad. Then I edit and flatten out the 360 video and then get that over to like an external hard drive. And from that point, I can edit like normal, but the wireless transfer process from here to here, it's like 6 minutes for one video file compared to like 10 seconds if I just pop in the SD card and transfer it through with a wire. Anyways, if you know a workaround, please let me know. I'm guessing this is a really requested feature because when I brought it up to one of my friends, he also said the same thing, like that's something that I wish I could do. Anyhow, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here. Thank you for watching, and got a friend coming over in a little bit. We're gonna go for a ride, so hoping that ride's gonna be pretty fun, and here's hoping that your next ride is your best ride.